Welcome to 2012 Black Bracketology, hosted by yours truly, Mr. Duncan Anderson, Mr. Holy Dirt gloves, receiving gloves, football gloves, being creative, y'all. Coming this spring, look for them online, www.holydirtfashions.com. Yeah, doing my thing, man. Life been good. Having a good time. But you know what time it is, man. It's NCAA time. So I'm going to talk to y'all right now about the brackets and who's going to do what this year from the Black Bracketologist himself, Duncan Anderson, Mr. Holy Dirt. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Yeah. A little happy, man. Life has been good to me. Getting a little chubby in the face. Ribs ain't touching no more. We eating now. So, you know, we good. But anyway, let's start it off in the South. And let me tell y'all straight up and down, there will be only one number one seed in the Final Four. And we're going to start it off in the South. And I'm going to breeze through this real quick because the game's getting ready to start. So I'm going to get me some oxtail and stuff like that. Y'all know I take off Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunday, I don't do nothing but watch games. But anyway, let's start it off in the South. We go number one seed, Kentucky versus West Kentucky. Western Kentucky came back the other night from being down by like 16 points with like 9 minutes left. They got a lot of fight in that young team, but I don't think they can get it done against Kentucky. Kentucky moves on to the second round at 116 matchup. Iowa State and UConn. UConn looking good at the end of this year. I still respect them as being the champions of last year. UConn wins against Iowa State. Wichita State and VCU. This is not the same VCU team from last year. They're not as talented as they was last year, but they deep. They play like 9 men deep. And Shaka Smart know what he's doing down there. Crazy defensive press. The trap. Watch that game because they press is crazy. But Wichita ain't no slouches. Wichita is a real good school, but I got VCU moving on to the second round just because of experience of making it to the Final Four last year. Indiana and New Mexico State, which is going to be a good game. Indiana is back, y'all. Indiana basketball is relevant again, but I got Indiana moving on to the next round and everything. Colorado and UNLV. UNLV has been good this year. But Colorado has just been pulling it off. First year in the Pac-12 now. Won the Pac-12 championship. So I got Colorado moving on UNLV. Baylor and South Dakota State. South Dakota State, I'm proud of y'all for making a tournament for the first time. But Baylor is a lot to handle. Pierre Jackson, Quincy Acey, and the kid Miller got to be one of the most talented swingmans. You know, he could play the 3 and the 4, you know, one of the most talented ones in the nation. Got Baylor moving on to that, you know, beating South Dakota State. So you got Notre Dame, Xavier, going to be a good game. Battle right over the border. Ohio versus Indiana. Well, both of them in Indiana. I don't know. I think both of them in Indiana. No, Baylor's in Ohio. Yeah, Baylor is Ohio. Because yeah, that's why they fighting Cincinnati, because they up the street from each other. But anyway, damn, you know, I got to bring up the bad stuff. But anyway, I got Xavier over Notre Dame in the first round. Duke and Lehigh. It's going to be a tough game for Duke. You know I'm a Blue Devil fan till I die. My Blue Devils is a holy dirt heart for the Blue Devils. But Blue Devils got a real talented team. We could bring everybody back. We only had one senior on our team this year, and that was Mason Plumlee. He gave us his heart and soul for the last 4 years. If Duke can bring everybody back, Duke will be the national champion next year. Stephen Curry has done better than I thought he would be. You know, he then took street ball on a college floor to another level, so it can be done. But anyway, got Duke beating Lehigh in that first round. Then let's go back up to the top again. Now you got Kentucky and UConn. This is my upset, people. This is my upset. I got Kentucky falling asleep. UConn beating Kentucky. Utah is real big down bottom. Kentucky is real long down bottom. It's a difference. Big bodies, long bodies. I take the big bodies over the long bodies any day. Even though Anthony Davis is a hell of a shot blocker, I still take Kentucky. UConn with their experience. So I got UConn over Kentucky. That's your first upset, the number 1 seed right there. UConn over Kentucky. I know y'all don't believe it, but y'all got to watch. It's going to happen. Calipari will never win a championship because he don't pay his dues. He bring kids in the league. They stay for 1 year, and then they go into the NBA. And they go. So, with bringing new freshmen in, they don't have the experience to be able to beat people over and over and over and everything in a regular season. They the man on their block. But when they got to play outside of their block, it's a whole different story. So you got UNLV and Indiana in the second round. I got Indiana beating UNLV. Moving on, Colorado and Baylor. I got Baylor beating Colorado and moving on to the Sweet 16. You got Xavier and Duke. It's going to be a real good game. It's going to come down to the wire. But I got my man Stephen Curry, little brother Seth Curry, and Austin Rivers doing their thing and moving to the next round with Big Miles Plumlee and Mason Plumlee. All right, now we got UConn and Indiana. UConn and Indiana. UConn is going to exert all their energy beating Kentucky. So it's going to be hard for them to beat Indiana. I got Indiana slipping in the back door and beating UConn in that game and everything. I told y'all, Indiana basketball is back. Indiana was one of the teams that beat Kentucky this year. Indiana basketball is back. It's relevant again. So Baylor and Duke, I got Duke going down to Baylor. Pierre Jackson is a beast. Quincy Acey and the kid Miller, beast. Next round, so for my Elite 8, I got Baylor versus Indiana in that bracket, in the Southern bracket. And I'll come back to y'all and tell y'all my final 4 picks in the next one after that. Here we go.